97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock.
Hi, this is Michael Spedden, 97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock worldwide. Welcome to our YouTube page where you can find all of the national and local band interviews from my show, www.youtube.com/97underground, Michael Spedden. Remember, the Back of the Rack is now on every Monday from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time and on Wednesday from 2 to 4 a.m. Eastern Time for the replay. Download the free app from 97underground.com and listen anytime, anywhere. And hit that like and subscribe button and allow notifications so you'll know whenever a new episode launches. Enjoy the interview. And welcome back to the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show here on 97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock worldwide, now at our new time, Mondays 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern. Today we have an interview with Wicked. Wicked is a band out of Rochester, New York, and they're going to be doing some East Coast touring this summer and into the fall here. They have July 12th. They're going to be at Radio Social in Rochester, New York. September 18th, they're going to be opening for Ace Frehley in Pittsburgh. And September 18th, they're going to be at Morseberger's Tavern in Catonsville in Baltimore. So definitely keep your eyes open for that. Their website is wickedrockandrollofficial.com, and their socials and their links and everything, their website, which has a link to a link tree and everything, will be in the show notes of this episode here. We've been spinning their material here on 97underground.com for a bit here, and we finally got a chance to meet them and speak with them. And they're great guys, and their material's really good too. We'll be hearing two songs during the interview. Let me see here. It is Hellraiser, and the other one is Reptile Roots. Both great songs. I've played them on the show before, and we'll get to hear them again. So enjoy our interview with Wicked. And welcome back to the Back of the Rack Show, the Michael Spedden Show here on 97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock worldwide. And today, from Rochester, New York, we have the band Wicked on here. And welcome, guys. You've been telling me a lot of things, kind of before we started recording here, working on some new material, some shows you have coming up. So welcome. It's great to have you today. So tell me what's going on and tell our listeners too.
Hey, great to be here. I mean,
thanks for having us.
Yeah, we're really just getting ready. Tonight is is a hot night for us because we're practicing like this set of songs that we're right now in the studio for. It's we've got a lot going on, but we've kind of hit the brakes a little bit, and we're cutting a new album for next year. So I think it was a couple of weeks ago we sat down and we did like a writing session for maybe 10 days, was it?
Yeah.
What do we have, 10 days?
Yeah, it was about a little over a week.
And it was it's pretty cool because if you're not familiar with the band Wicked, East Coast rock and roll, kind of we take our lineage from the greats like Kiss, New York Dolls, a little blend between that punk and, classic rock and
Sure,
that good stuff. So we try to represent, but we've always had music that spans all of our influences, whether it be more on the metal side, right? Gunner is kind of your flame of choice.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we have a really good mix of what we all like and how we blend that together is kind of the Wicked style,
Mm-hmm.
Scotty's big, into Aerosmith,
Yeah,
right?
Classic 70s rock stuff. But anything from that to 90s stuff. I love Alice in Chains and Red Hot Chili Peppers and all that. Yeah.
Sure.
And and Chad and I, we're big, power pop, hard rock guys. But you'll go back and look at some of our, music we've put out in the last, several years, and there's a bit of pop, like I said, a bit of hard rock, some heavier stuff, a good broad blend, and we're excited because this new record we're in the studio for right now is very focused. So we're doing something a little different, and we're working with a Nashville producer and writer, and it's a whole new experience for sure.
I was just remarking, and I've had a lot of acts come on the show to interview, and it's not just LA anymore, or LA, as we said. Yes, we told that story in this interview too, but my audience, I'll spare you that one again. Okay. Yeah, they're like, oh God, is he telling the LA story again? Yeah. Click. There we go. Click. No, I'm not going to do that to you. Stay and listen. Okay. But we were just talking about how, you know, Austin, Nashville, Atlanta, all booming right now, for bands. It's not just New York and LA. There's lots of opportunities, lots of people all over the place, lots of different sounds nowadays. And so can you name who the person from Nashville is, or is that
Yeah.
kind
No,
of
we're proud to say we're working with Tuck Smith, old Biters front man. Now Tuck Smith and the Restless Heart. So been a big fan of Tuck and his music over the years, and coming out of Atlanta, now in Nashville. Like you
Mhm,
said, there's these scenes of rock and roll, and we're a little bit kind of out of the way up in Rochester. We've
mhm.
got a cool kind of like small little scene of rockers and metalheads that they'll come out and we'll tear it up, when we're in town. But it's pretty fun. It's fun kind of collaborating, and
Mhm.
especially with somebody that we've been big fans of for so many years. So
Right. Well, that's great. That's great. And you all, mentioned, influences and everything before. I'm guessing that you're a good bit younger than I am, which, statistically isn't hard to do. But but was this stuff that you grew up on, or was this stuff that maybe even, your parents liked that passed down to you?
think
I
it's a
s- I see a lot of people that I grew up with, that we were all headbangers together, and they've produced the second generation of headbangers, and their kids are all into theirs. Is that something that came from, that as well?
It's funny, like, Danny and Danny was the one that discovered rock and roll in the first place, playing goalie in hockey, and I kind of like followed his footsteps and listened to AC/DC and Guns N' Roses and stuff.
Yeah. Hmm.
And then these guys, they both had parents that listened to that stuff, so it's like half and half, like just an odd way of
Yeah.
finding rock and roll. But these guys, they grew up on it.
We're
Hmm.
on that second generation part.
Yeah.
These guys aren't.
Oh, okay. You see a lot of it, and again, people in my age group, are bringing their kids with them to the concerts now and everything, and it's great that this second generation is passed down, and there's a real appreciation for it too. It's I just think, again, it's a wonderful thing that it just, grunge came along and it all kind of went away, but it's been back for a long time. It was just kind of like a bump in the road, and it
Yeah.
really seems like it's come back, again with a whole new generation. And again, I've got, there are a lot of folks that I see out there now that I've played on this station, and that we go, see and visit, to check out for the station, 18, 20 years old, and are really absorbed into this stuff, you know?
It is funny. I mean, we grew up, it was kind of Warped Tour era, all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, yeah.
that stuff was cool, and I think as kids there was a rebellion and being able to be a part of that. But
Hmm.
like you guys said, always like really like true 70s, classic hard rock fans.
Hmm.
Greats, Cheap Trick, David Bowie, Thin Lizzy. And so it's like for us, it's a way to kind of like come out of that era that we grew up in, and revitalize this, this rock and roll that we hold dear to our hearts.
Hmm. That's great. That's great. The let me see, the album that you have out now. Um, I did play, the one single on the show here, Reptile Roots. That's a great song. It's a great song. And tell me a bit about that, the song itself. I see that it was released as a single.
Yeah,
Um,
it
you
was
know.
it was kind of an old tune that we revitalized from years ago when we first started. And I think the premise of it is really like that, that call to action of just rockers, that reckless attitude, and all the little cliches that go along with it, being a kid, first wanting to become like this rock star and like have the big black Cadillac and all that good stuff. And, and just all the debauchery that goes along with it. So we love that song, especially at the end of the set, because it's got a blazing, twin guitar, like just ripping
Digging in,
yeah. And so it's a lot of fun to like do it. The whole crowd really gets into it and gets headbanging out there.
The cool thing about that song is it was written a while ago and it evolved as we played it live until, we finally got to the point where we're like, all right, let's record it. And that's why it has a very live feel to it with, that jam out at the end and the out go low and all that. That's all things that were added on as we started playing it more live.
Yeah, it's a great song, and I did get some couple of thumbs up. Some people texted me some thumbs up liking it that have heard it. For my little old show here. So hey, that's a good thing, and you are going to be playing out a bit. You've got a couple of shows coming up in a few weeks here. Radio Social in Rochester, New York. Is that the name of the event or the name of the club? I'm not familiar with that town.
It's the name of the club. It's a cool little place, like got a very like vintage vibe. I know like the one owner walks around with like David Bowie pins on his back lapel and shit like that. So it's pretty cool, and
it's a really cool Rochester hang. It's kind of like the scene where people go to hang out, see live shows.
Yeah.
You'll get a demographic of people that just love, high energy music and rock and roll, like you said, young, old, the whole mix. So it's fun. It brings the community together for sure.
Right. It's so that's kind of like again, please forgive my lack of knowledge of Rochester, but is that like the big club in town up there?
It's one of them for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And Rochester's a cool place. It's not very big though, so you can pretty much hit all the mainstay rock places with a stone if you throw them.
Yeah.
So it's we're working with a little bit, but we make it a big spectacle for sure.
Right. And then you've got another show coming up with Ace Frehley. You want to talk about that?
Where's that at? Is that the PA one, Scotty?
Yeah,
that's Pittsburgh. Yeah,
Pittsburgh, PA. That's at what's
Jurgles.
Yeah. That one's gonna be really crazy.
It'll be our first date with Ace and crew, and we're super excited. Obviously, like I said, big Kiss fans from back in the day, especially Scotty. And
the only time we probably have crossed paths with him in the same places when we used to do all the we used to do the Kiss conventions. We'd be like, we'd have a booth there because we kind of used to have a different look. I don't know if you remember that.
I like to call it our Casablanca
era.
Yeah. Yes.
And our days in the platforms.
Yeah, we should tease Ace and just come out with the platforms. What? 7-inch platforms.
Yep.
No, I mean we're excited. It's our first show actually sharing the stage with him, and I think probably the first of a few to come this summer. So keep your eyes up for that. And we're excited to see our friends and fans in Pittsburgh. It's been a while, and I know they got those sandwiches with the French fries over them. So
yeah,
I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Primanti Brothers.
Yeah.
I know that because I'm a Ravens fan, and all the Steelers fans that bust my balls, we talk about sandwiches, so exactly. So yeah, Primanti Brothers. I hear those are really good.
Fantastic. We'll have to wait till after the show.
Yeah, you're gonna have nothing to do the rest of the day if you have one of those.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, you got to fit in your pants that night. You can't go out there looking like I can't think of an analogy, but it wouldn't look good. Primanti Brothers sandwiches and spandex or tight pants or whatever you're wearing. It's
yeah, that'd be tough.
Look like you're smuggling a watermelon around. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I'm getting out there to do it. And then I saw another show listed for the Lux Lounge in December. Where's that? Is that
that's another one of those Rochester dives. It's like 666 South Ave. It's a cool little joint. Obviously has like a very underground edge to it. But it's great, man. I'll tell you, that's one of those places you get all the college kids. They just come in and it's just like shoulder to shoulder all the time.
Oh, that's
good music and big original music promoters. I think that's one of the biggest things, we do in our local areas is really help promote, the youth and everybody around original music, because, if you're a cover band, you'll make the dime and, play like a jukebox, but these poor original bands, they got the hard knocks. So it's there to support creativity for sure.
I'm right with you on that, because every band I ever played in was original.
Yeah.
And that's my bias. I'm on that side, and I'm 100% behind bands that are doing originals out there.
It's a lot of work, man. I'll tell you. I mean, I'm sure it takes a lot of work to learn other people's music, but there's something special about writing your own stuff and really learning that process.
Absolutely.
We've been doing it for a decade now together, and this band is like an old school band. We live together, we do everything, and it's there's something magical about that. Not many people have that that luxury, so we're super fortunate.
Yeah, there's no Zoom rehearsals. It's always
together.
So
you're kind of like the Monkees.
Exactly. Yeah.
Funny shit happens all the time in this house.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, that's great. But again, the original music, I feature on my show. It's a 2-hour show every week, and I feature what I call the Mid-Atlantic Music Marathon, at least 30 minutes, if not 30 minutes of music, and then an interview of a local band or national act, gets on the show every week. And I'm a big advocate of original playing bands. I get out there and I'm, behind them 100%. There are a number of tribute bands out here, this tribute to Scorpions, Judas Priest, what have you. They're not without skill. And I've said this before, because people have gotten upset with me, that's not without skill, but, I've always been one to want to leave my mark, whether it's good or bad, whether I sink or swim, it's me regardless. Do you feel that way too?
It's about the legacy for us. We like you said about a mark, we want to have that piece of rock and roll history moving forward for generations to come. So
yeah. Another thing that's happening out there too is bands that were in my age group, kids are grown. Hey, let's get the band back together now, and we're getting a lot of people starting to re-release their old material and everything, and getting out and doing not necessarily maybe quarterly reunion shows, I guess, or semi-annual reunion shows, and just bringing that back, which I think is just tremendous.
Absolutely. I mean, Gunner's dad, Roy Costin, is one of the big rockers from our area where we were born, upstate. And he's never put down the guitar, but he's always bringing back cool some of his old acts throughout the years. And
doing little reunions and stuff, here and there. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, I'll tell you what, would you like to spin one of your songs for us here?
Let's do it.
I have I could put in I have Reptile Roots. We can spin that right now if you want. We'll give that a spin. And all right, this is Reptile Roots by Wicked.
Doing stars and
Oh, that's an excellent song. And I tell you, the audience, in Baltimore and, again, all over the place, I've gotten some, definitely some thumbs up and some positive reviews on it and everything. Is So was there anything else about the song you wanted to tell us, or anything, any stories or anything else behind it?
Oh man, I think some of the cool stuff was just getting off of the Raven tour. We played it a lot on that last spring.
We would end the set with that song every single show.
Yeah.
And it was just like one of those wild, like extravagant, like events. Like we play that song, like jumping off the drum kit, like people.
Yeah,
High
energy.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of cool because on that tour we did North America, about 30 something dates. Went clockwise, Canada down to Mexico City, and we were on the tour with our buddies from Vicious Rumors as well.
Oh
And
yeah.
this September we're going to be headed back out for just a short little run, but actually down through your guys' way. I think we start Rhode Island on the 16th of September. We're going to be putting this up on our website.
Okay.
I think we're in Cantonville on the 18th. Down Connecticut, Delaware. So it's going to be a cool little East Coast corner run, and we're looking forward to hit the stage with those guys again. And there's going to be a bunch more dates because we haven't announced it yet, but we'll give you guys a little tease. We got a new album that's going to be dropping at end of the summer, and or at least some of the singles will start coming out. We're excited for that. It kind of takes where we left off with Sunburn and Reptile Roots and Hellraiser, and brings like some of that heavy and really like rock and roll, hard rock into this new 13 song album. And I think the big premise of this album and this era, if you will, is we're really creating this universe, something that we believe in, and it's this community, right? It's this group of people where anybody's welcome, but it's all about having a lust for life, that free.
Sure, yeah.
The roots of rock and roll. But we're really gonna kind of make it something more than just four guys with blonde hair just showing off all the time. We want to bring people into it and show everything around us as well. So it'll be a cool project for sure, visually and the music. So I'm excited for you guys to see that.
If you like Reptile Roots, it's like a level up from that.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Where in Delaware do you know where in Delaware you're going to be?
I don't remember what the clubs. You'll have to check it out when we post it.
Okay, yeah.
It's this week, but again, you're getting the precursor. It's Cantonville, and then in Maryland, and then in Delaware, we're in Newark, I think. So
Newark, yeah, I live right near Newark.
Awesome.
And then Maryland. Where are you going to be in Maryland?
We don't have the club dates yet. Stay tuned.
Yes.
Okay, stay tuned. Okay, do you know what town?
Cantonville. I think, yeah.
Oh, Catonsville.
Yeah.
Catonsville.
Oh, it's Morseberger's Tavern, probably.
Yeah. I think
Yep. Oh yeah, we're big at Morseberger's Tavern. We're like furniture at Morseberger's Tavern.
That's awesome.
Yeah, keep me posted on those dates too.
We'll do,
yeah, we're like furniture there. We were just there the other week. And I meet a lot of bands there, and we support the scene. There's a lot of original playing bands there, and we get them on the air. We meet them there.
Cool.
That's wonderful. So, go ahead.
We're down. One special when we're down there. We'll hang out.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. We'll definitely bend an elbow for sure. Great. So you've got a great website here, wickedrockandrollofficial.com. And I like how you put official on there. Was somebody trying to impersonate you, or?
No, we lost the original. We had Wicked Rock and Roll, and I'm not going to point fingers who. Somebody slipped and missed the payment on the domain name, and we lost it, so we had to get a new one.
To a lingerie site too.
Yeah, don't look it up now. Don't look up Wicked Rock and Roll. It's not gonna...
Yeah. Guess it's not as bad as looking up blue waffles, I guess, huh?
Blue waffle.
If you haven't, don't trust me. Okay. And I shouldn't even probably mention that, but yeah. So on the website, and again, your upcoming tour dates, that's kind of a work in progress right now. So you'll have that, as you confirm everything, and you'll be working, I guess, through the summer to kind of confirm things, which is great. And You've got your merch. You've got music for sale. And it looks like what else do you have here? Clothing. You've got some T-shirts. I like the Sunburn T-shirt. That's sharp, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Drumsticks are out of stock. Well, you better get back to work, buddy.
I keep breaking them all, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the breaking ones, the ones you want to give. You don't. Yep.
All right.
That'll make you even cooler in people's eyes. Yep. You've got a poster, Lost in the Dark release show poster. All kinds of good stuff here on vinyl. Again, there you go, keeping the tradition going. Vinyl. Can I ask a bit about the vinyl? Do you have like the kind of album that opens up?
Gatefold. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you and it's
Yeah,
got like
we're big on the gatefold, especially with those long, 13 track albums. So it's pretty cool. Do the colored vinyl. You get your sleeves inside with special pictures and lyrics and everything. So I mean, put down Spotify, grab some vinyl, and chill out at your house, and some rock and roll.
Yep. I mean, I still do. I mean, I don't have a turntable in my car,
We'll
bring one. I had one. It was so old. It was like the Fred Flintstone bird that you put his beak on it, and
those are fun.
That's great. Yeah. Well, awesome. So you have the Sunburn album on vinyl. You've got the lyrics, the open up the notes and everything. Bingo, perfect. You know what? You can't go wrong with that. That was the whole experience I grew up with. You experienced an album, not just listen to it. I mean, you had art, you had the lyrics, the sheets, the photos. It was an experience. You could sit there and read it whenever you were listening to it. It was just great, and I'm glad that people are starting to bring that back, absolutely wonderful. Well, guys, great. Look, I really appreciate you coming and being willing to spend some time with us today. Looking forward to seeing the new dates for your tour coming up. Looking forward to, I guess you're looking forward definitely to the Ace Frehley show out in Pittsburgh. Definitely keep in touch and let me know how things go and everything. And definitely be seeing you at either Morseberger's or Newark, this fall too. So thanks. Well, folks, we've been listening to Wicked here on the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show on 97underground.com. These guys are full of great news. And again, Wicked Rock and Roll Official. That's rockandrollofficial.com. And folks, we will see you all. Stick around after the break. We'll be back right after these words. You're listening to the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show on 97underground.com. We're going to roll things off with another tune from these guys. It's called Hellraiser. Back after the break. right, folks, thanks for tuning in and listening, and hope you enjoyed today's interview. Remember, the Back of the Rack is on every Monday from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern, and our replay is every Wednesday morning from 2 to 4 a.m. Eastern Time on 97underground.com, Baltimore's Pure Rock Worldwide. You can download our free app and listen anytime, anywhere. Also, don't forget our YouTube channel. Hit the like and subscribe button and allow for notifications so you'll be the first to know whenever new episodes air. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Log on and crank it up. The station your mother warned you about. 97underground.com.